There are moments in life when everything feels painfully quiet. Your prayers echo back in silence. You look toward heaven, but it feels like heaven has shut its door. Your spirit whispers, "God, where are you?" Yet all you hear is the sound of your own breath. But what if this silence isn't a punishment? What if this emptiness isn't a void, but a divine classroom? What if every unanswered prayer is actually a test, not designed to destroy you, but to reveal you? God doesn't test you to fail you. He tests you to prove what's real, to separate the temporary from the eternal. And make no mistake, these hidden tests determine far more than comfort on earth. They determine your eternity. Today, we're going to uncover the 4 hidden tests from God that decide your eternity. Tests most people fail, but you don't have to. The test of faith. When heaven is silent, there comes a moment in every believer's journey when heaven grows quiet. The presence you once felt so clearly suddenly feels far away. You pray, but your words seem to fall flat. You worship, but the room feels empty. You fast, but your spirit still feels dry. And in that stillness, a dangerous thought whispers, "Maybe God has forgotten me." But hear this clearly, He hasn't. He's watching. He's waiting. And yes, He's testing. Because faith is not proven by how loud you shout in blessing. Faith is revealed by how still you stand in silence. Anybody can believe when miracles are visible, when the bills are paid, when the doors are opening. But what about when every door stays closed? When the miracle delays? When the voice of God feels miles away? That is when the test begins. God's silence is not His absence. It is the furnace that refines your faith. He's asking, will you trust me when I seem quiet? Will you keep walking even when you can't see the path? Remember Abraham. Years passed after God's promise. His hair turned gray, his strength faded, and yet his faith stood tall. And Job, stripped of family, health, wealth, still declared, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." That kind of faith doesn't grow in comfort. It's forged in the fire of silence. If you're in that place right now, if your prayers feel unanswered, if heaven feels far, listen closely. Heaven is not ignoring you. Heaven is shaping you. God hides His face not to distance Himself, but to strengthen your faith. The teacher is always quiet during the test. The test of obedience. When it costs you everything, there comes a time when God will ask you to lay something on the altar, something you love. Could be your dream, could be your relationship, could be your pride. And in that moment, obedience becomes the hardest word in your vocabulary. This is the moment Abraham faced on Mount Moriah. Imagine the pain of that walk. His promised son beside him, carrying the wood for his own sacrifice. Every step was a war between the father's heart and the believer's obedience. Yet Abraham raised the knife, not out of cruelty, but out of complete trust in the goodness of God. And in that moment, heaven moved. You see, God didn't want Isaac's death. He wanted Abraham's heart. He wanted to know, do you love the promise more than the promiser? Do you trust the gift more than the giver? Obedience doesn't always make sense. It doesn't always feel fair. But it always produces freedom. When God asks you to let go of something, it's not because He wants to leave you empty. It's because He wants to fill you with something greater. Moses left the palace for the wilderness. Mary said yes to bearing the Son of God, risking reputation, security, and peace. Peter stepped out of the boat into the storm, simply because obedience mattered more than safety. Every story of greatness in the kingdom began with obedience that cost everything. So if God is asking you to release your Isaac, don't run. Don't delay. Lay it down. Because every altar of obedience leads to resurrection. What you surrender will rise again, in a form far more glorious than before. The test of integrity when no one is watching. This is the quietest, yet the most revealing test of all. Comes when no one is around. No applause. No recognition. No spotlight. Integrity is not who you are when the world is watching. It's who you are when only heaven sees. Your reputation is what people say about you. Your integrity is what God knows about you. Joseph faced this test in Egypt. He was alone, forgotten, tempted. No one from his past could see him, No one from his future knew him. He could have sinned, and no one on earth would ever find out. But Joseph said, "How can I do this wickedness and sin against God?" That single hidden decision echoed through eternity. Integrity is formed in private victories. When you choose truth over convenience. When you stay pure when temptation whispers, no one will ever know. When you walk upright even when everyone else bends. Those unseen choices are eternal exams. Heaven records them. Angels rejoice over them. Because every secret act of faithfulness is a public investment in eternity. The world celebrates what's visible, but God celebrates what's invisible. If you've been quietly doing right, even when no one notices, heaven has seen every act of integrity. And one day, when you stand before the throne, those private victories will shine like crowns of light. The test of compassion when you gain power, the most dangerous test is not when you're weak. It's when you're strong. Not when you're in need, but when you have more than enough. When God elevates you, gives you wealth, influence, success, He watches closely to see what you'll do with it. Will you lift others? Or forget where you came from? Many can stay humble in pain, but few can stay compassionate in power. Power exposes what's hidden. It magnifies what's inside. If your heart is soft, power will make it radiant. If your heart is selfish, power will make it cruel. When you're in abundance, do you remember the days of lack? When doors open for you, do you open them for others? When God blesses you, do you become a blessing or a gatekeeper? Jesus, the King of Kings, washed feet. He served those who would betray him. That's divine compassion wrapped in humility. Power without compassion becomes tyranny. Power guided by compassion becomes transformation. So when God promotes you, don't let pride erase your mercy. Remember where you came from. Remember who lifted you. Use your influence to heal, not to boast. Every act of compassion, every time you forgive instead of revenge, every time you lift someone who can't repay you, becomes a seed planted in eternity. Because the world measures greatness by how many serve you, but God measures greatness by how many you serve. These 4 hidden tests, faith in silence, obedience in surrender, integrity in secret, compassion in power are not random trials. They are the divine exams of eternity. You may fail at times. We all do. But failure is not final, it's an invitation. Every test you face is God saying, "I'm not done shaping you." So tonight, let this be your prayer. Father, test me and make me true. Strengthen my faith when you are silent. Teach me obedience when I don't understand. Keep me pure when no one sees. And fill my heart with compassion when you bless me. Because eternity is not decided in one grand moment. It's decided in 1,000 quiet choices, each one whispering your answer to heaven's eternal question.